Data viewers, the Colonel speaking to you live from the Preceptory of British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting. And we've had a letter from Mrs. Trellis of North Wales, who says, Dear Mr. Cameron, we don't see Dad's army on the television quite so often as we once did. Can you make sure that happens, please? Also, would you mind telling the Colonel to play a few more classical records on his gramophones? We are sick of filthy jeers. Yours faithfully, Mrs. Trellis of North Wales. I've had another letter from a Reverend Proud Feet of the old rectory Forkham Hall, who states, when using a Decca machine, it is preferable to play Decca records upon it. Well, thank you, Reverend Proud Feet, for that one. We're going to play a Decca record. Oh, and by the way, I've rebuilt the Salon Decca Salon number 8 soundbox. I've rebuilt the back rubbers on there. I found some the other day, which fitted perfectly, got a wonderful sound. So we're going to play a Decca record. It's a post-war one though. Lied des Paris from Die Schöne Helene, or Belle Helene, by Offenbach, sung by Max Lichtegg with the Tonhall Orchestra Zurich. It's K1979, sung in German, so there could be some secret message for you out there. Here we go. Then we'll play a few more.
Zum Walde, die sich wenden, tritt ein schöner Mann heraus. Einen Apfel in den Händen, Freundchen, mal, das wirst dir aus. Ja, holder Jüngling ohne Gleichen, willst du uns ein Stündchen Wein? Diesen Apfel sollst du reichen, jetzt der schönsten von uns drein. Wohin, um zu gefallen einem hübschen jungen Mann. Wohin, wenn denn die Götter oft gar seltsame Mieten an, wenden sie seltsame Mieten an. Reinen Ton. Bin Minerva keusch und weise, meine Tugend sei dein Lohn. Die Götter wenden oft gar seltsame Mieten an. Und er sprach mit Stolz die Zweite, hört sich strahlig wie mein Tauch. Juno, ich im zur Seite in die königlichste Frau, um zu gefallen einem hübschen jungen Mann, wenden sie seltsame Mittel an. Und die dritte, ja, die dritte stand daneben und blieb stumm. Ihr mußt ich den Apfel geben, Kalchas, du weißt wohl warum. Wohin, um so gefallen einem hübschen jungen Mann. Wohin, wenn die Götter oft gar seltsame Mieten an, wenden sie seltsame Mieten
fantastic, wasn't it, viewers? Not only well sung, but certainly beautifully reproduced. Right, let's go on to another one. Just talk amongst yourselves a moment whilst I find the record. Oh, I see someone's waving to me from the main house. Well, I'll have to continue waving. I'm not stopping this video to start again. Right, let's find another one. Oh, yes. This is an operatic one. Oh, it's cracked. What a blasted nuisance. It's Columbia D15119, and it's the Legend of the Sausage from Le Jongleur de Notre Dame, sung by Luciene Fugere, who was at least 100 years old when he made this record, in I think 1930 odd. Yes, this is the best version of this. And it's strange really, he had a good voice when he was younger. When he got to about 90, his voice actually got better, which is the reverse of the normal situation. Oh. Right. I'm not being filmed today, viewers, but I have been approached by an independent film company who, couldn't you believe it, want to do a fly-on-the-wall documentary of how we live at the Preceptory. I and my mistresses. Yes, and the funny goings-on. And me shopping in North Oxford and things like that. Can't believe anyone would want to watch such tosh, but there you go. They seem to be keen. The more I say that, the more they laugh, these televisual people. Must be mad. Them and me. Oh.
Marie, avec l'enfant Jésus, par les mots, par les plaines du mais l'on essoufflé n'en peut plus. Et voici que là-bas, au versant de la côte, ont apparu soudain les semblants cavaliers du roi cœur d'enfant. Mon fils, où cacher ta faiblesse? Fleurie, c'est une rose au bord du chemin. Sois bonne, belle rose, à mon enfant pour s'y blottir. Ouvre tout large ton calice. Sauve mon Jésus de mourir. Mais de peur de froisser l'incarnat de sa robe, l'orgueilleuse répond: je ne veux pas m'ouvrir. Fleurie, c'est une sauge au bord du chemin. Sauge, ma petite saugette, ouvre ta feuille à mon enfant. Ouvre à mon enfant. Et la bonne fleurette ouvre si bien sa feuille qu'au fond de ce berceau, Jésus va s'endormir. contre toutes les pannes. A béni l'humble Sauge, entre toutes les plaines.
Well, there we are, viewers. That was magnificent. That's what you call a silent surface. Yes, those film people are a bit of a pain. I don't know quite why. Well, I haven't really agreed to do it just yet. Right, let's find another record. That was great. They said, oh, of course, we can't film you where you normally film. We'll have to move everything to the main house and you can film there. I said, well, that's not what I naturally do. If you want a fly-on-the-wall documentary, you should be filming what I naturally do, which is not recording the main house. The acoustics may not work. Well, they probably work, obviously, but well, not that obviously. I don't know. The whole thing is odd and rather intrusive, really. I don't see why anyone would be the slightest bit interested. I'm not interested in what I do most days. So why should anybody else be? It all seems very peculiar. Well, why would anyone want to watch that? Mind you, I suppose there's plenty of other old rubbish on there. They could watch me and my mistresses, well, some of them. We lost one after the referendum. She disagreed with my politics, but my politics had not changed. The political situation had. Maybe it's because I was playing Rule Britannia at full volume. Yes, I did think about taking the Expert Senior up onto the roof and playing it, flying flags and that, but unfortunately it won't fit through the door up onto the roof, onto the leads. I'd get an Expert Junior up there. Yes. I shall have to give that considerable thought, viewers. Right, the third record we're going to play is... they could film that, couldn't they? Columbia DX353, The Lion and Albert by Marriott Edgar, Humorous Monologue by Stanley Holloway with Wolseley Charles at the pianoforte. Right, here we go. Make sure that's right, there we go.
There's a famous seaside place called Blackpool that's noted for fresh air and fun. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with young Albert, their son. A grand little lad with young Albert, all dressed in his best, quite a swell, with a stick with an horse's head handle, the finest that Woolworths could sell.
Let's try that again.
They didn't think much to the...
Right.
There's a famous seaside place called Blackpool that's noted for fresh air and fun. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with young Albert, their son. A grand little lad with young Albert, all dressed in his best, quite a swell, with a stick with an horse's head handle, the finest that Woolworths could sell. They didn't think much to the ocean, the waves they was fiddling and small. There was no wrecks and nobody drowned. Fact, nothing to laugh at all. So seeking for further amusement, they paid and went into the zoo, where they'd lions and tigers and camels, and old ale and sandwiches too. There were one great big lion called Wallace. His nose were all covered with scars. He lay in a somnolent posture, with the side of his face on the bars. Now Albert had heard about lions, how they was ferocious and wild. To see Wallace lying so peaceful, well, it didn't seem right to the child. So straightway the brave little fella, not showing a morsel of fear, took his stick with his horse's head handle and pushed it in Wallace's ear. You could see that the lion didn't like it, but giving a kind of a roll, he pulled Albert inside the cage with him and swallowed the little lad whole. Then Pa, who had seen the occurrence and didn't know what to do next, said, "Mother, yon lion's et Albert." And Mother said, "Well, I am vexed." Then Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom, quite rightly when all's said and done, complained to the animal keeper that the lion had eaten their son. The keeper was quite nice about it. He said, "What a nasty mishap. Are you sure that it's your boy he's eaten?" Pa said, "Am I sure? There's his cap." The manager had to be sent for. He came and he said, "What's to do?" Pa said, "Yon lion's et Albert, and him and his Sunday clothes too." Then Mother said, Right, young fella. I think it's a shame and a sin for a lion to go and eat Albert, and after we'd paid to come in." The manager wanted no trouble. He took out his purse right away, saying how much to settle the matter. And Pa said, "What do you usually pay?" But Mother had turned a bit awkward when she thought where her Albert had gone. She said, "No, someone's got to be summoned." So that was decided upon. Then off they went to the police station in front of the magistrate chap. They told him what happened to Albert and proved it by showing his cap. The magistrate gave his opinion that no one was really to blame, and he said that he hoped the Ramsbottoms would have further sons to their name. At that Mother got proper blazing, and "Thank you, sir, kindly," said she. "What, waste all our lives raising children to feed ruddy lions? Not me."
Well, that was great, wasn't it? I'm sure there's a subsequent part to that. I wonder if it's on the back of this record. 3/8 a foot. Should we play that as well? Yes, why not? I enjoyed that one, that side. It's curiously makes me rather nostalgic hearing monologues like that. It's reminds me of a time long gone, but it does also prove that children were awkward blighters in those days as well. Imagine going to the zoo and prodding a lion with an horse's end handle. Yes. The sun shone low o'er the railway lines and over the bricks and stacks, and in at the houses' windows of the Dawley house. Anyway, let's not do that. Let's do the other side. 3/8 a foot.
I'll tell you an old-fashioned story that Grandfather used to relate of a joiner and building contractor. His name, it was Sam Oglethwaite. In a shop on the banks of the Irwell, old Sam used to follow his trade in a place you'll have heard of called Bury. You know, where black puddings is made. One day Sam were filling a knothole with putty when in through the door came an old fella, fair wreathy whiskers. The old chap said, "Good morning, I'm Noah." Sam asked Noah what was his business, and the old chap went on to remark that, not liking the look of the weather, he was thinking of building an ark. He'd gotten the wood for the bulwarks and all to the shipbuilding junk, and wanted some nice bird's eye maple to panel the sides of his bunk. Now, maple was Sam's monopoly. That means they were all his to cut, and nobody else hadn't got none. So he asked Noah 3/8 a foot. "I hate me too much," replied Noah. "Penny a foot's more the mark. A penny a foot, and when rain comes, I'll give you a ride in me ark." But neither would budge in the bargain. The old thing was kind of a jam, So Sam put his tongue out at Noah, and Noah made long bacon at Sam. In wrath and ill feeling they parted, not knowing when they'd meet again, and Sam had forgot all about it, till one day it started to rain. It rained and it rained for a fortnight, and flooded the old countryside. It rained and it still kept on raining, till Thirlwell were 50 miles wide. The houses were soon under water, and folks to the roof had to climb. They said it was the rottenest summer that Berry had had for some time. The rain showed no sign of abating, and water rose hour by hour, till the only dry land were at Blackpool, and that were on top of the tower. So Sam started swimming to Blackpool. It took him best part of a week. His clothes was wet through when he got there, and his boots were beginning to leak. He stood to his watch chain in water on tower top just before dark, when who should come sailing towards him but old Noah steering his ark. They stared at each other in silence till half were alongside all but. Then Noah said, "What price yon maple?" Sam answered, 3 halfpence a foot. Noah said, "Nay, I'll make thee an offer, same as I did t'other day. A penny a foot and a free ride. Now, come on, lad, what does I say?" 3 halfpence a foot came the answer. So Noah his sail had to hoist, and sail off again in a dudgeon, while Sam stood determined but moist. Noah cruised around flying his pigeons till 40th day of the wet, and on his way back, passing Blackpool, he saw old Sam standing there yet. His chin just stuck out of the water, a comical figure he cut. Noah said, "Now what's the price of your maple?" Sam answered, 3 halfpence a foot. Said Noah, "You'd best take me offer. It's last time I'll be here about, and if water comes up an inch higher, I'll have to get maple for nought. 3 halfpence a foot it'll cost you. And as for me," Sam says, "don't fret. The sky's took a turn since this morning. I think it'll brighten up yet."
Do you know, they are still very amusing. I don't know what long bacon might be, but please don't tell me, viewers. Yes, they're very funny. They were a big part of my childhood, but I can't quite realise why. Someone must have had an LP of it. So anyway, let's play another record. That was very good. I enjoyed that. I'll have to dig out all the others of those I've got. I think I've got almost all of them. And some by Marriott Edgar himself. Although Stanley Holloway is more famous for those recordings. We played that. Let's play another. Oh, here's another Decca. Oh yes, this is more like it. Yes, Cole Porter Suite number 1 and 2, played by Levy and his music from the movies, K1633. And it's Night and Day, I Get a Kick Out of You, and Begin the Begin. Right, let's put another needle in, because that would be too much. Let's put a half tone in, rather than I think we're running out of half tones. I only use needles from Holland, viewers. Yes, I'm rather concerned about this film company. I don't know quite what their game is. They said, "Oh, we can film you shopping in North Oxford in your rolls." And I said, "Well, I don't take the rolls up for shopping in North Oxford." And they said, "Oh, well, you know, you can make an exception, get your chauffeur to drive it." I said, "I haven't got a chauffeur, it's me. And I take the bike." It's not a tandem. And they said, "Oh, we'll provide you with a chauffeur." And I thought, hang on a minute, this is deviating from reality. You know, what next? I think it's going to end up like some sort of poor quality imitation of Blandings, which was bad enough. I don't know. It seems a lot of mucking about and intrusion. I lead a very quiet life here. So here we go with Levy and Cole Porter medley. jolly good, wasn't it? Hopefully you enjoyed that. Oh dear. Well, that was handy to know that. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that. Jolly good machine. Thank you and goodbye.